Hello, Survivor Boston fans. So just to give a really quick update, this episode is coming out today because we had some issues getting the challenge out on time. We are all set. The challenge is in this episode, and we're good to go. But just to give an update for next week's episode will also be coming out on Sunday, so a week from today, just to give us enough time to make sure that everything is ready and up to the standard that we need to get up to. So thanks for waiting. We really appreciate it, and enjoy the episode.
Previously on Survivor Boston, a tribe swap shook up the game, putting all alliances up in the air. On New Lacu, there was a 3-3 split, putting Sarah in the middle. While on New Eord, there was a clear majority of Old Eord with Raz, Stefan, Joe Scar, and Brandon. Tony saw an opportunity to take out Brandon by teaming up with Joe Johnson, Hannah, and his friend from outside the game, Joe Scar. However, the Old Lacu didn't trust Tony and his mysterious relationship with Molly and turned on this idea.
Me and Hannah don't want to align with Tony because it just seems like there's some kind of relationship between him and Molly right now.
When Brandon found out his name was being thrown out, it sealed Tony's fate, sending him out of the game.
Tony, the tribe's spoken.
Thank you very much, guys.
You head out.
13 are left. Who will be voted out tonight?
Molly LeGrant Survivor Vlog Spring Break. I keep my buff in my purse because I would forget it for challenges otherwise. And being the fool I am, I didn't empty my purse before going on spring break. So I brought this guy to the UK with me, and I've almost lost him multiple times, including through security today.
So I'm off my power trip. Didn't quite work out with Tony's elimination. RIP. I felt like one of those kids who like their parents go away and get them a t-shirt like I had a master plan and all I have now is a fake community idol.
So yeah, basically Tony and I, before we like got into like fights last semester, stopped being friends, he ghosted me, and then we found out we were doing Survivor with the only other person that like the person that we had heard of, so we were like, let's have an alliance, because I was like, I don't know anybody else, like I don't want to go home first, etc.
And when you're doing as much lying as I am, it catches up to you if people find out. I also don't want to sound like a psychopath right now, because like I genuinely like, as much as I talk about like, oh, I don't like Tony hurt me, whatever, ex-friends. Like he's a fun guy. Like I genuinely enjoy hanging out with him and like getting closer with him like over the last 2 weeks. Honestly, like it's been nice. And maybe it's not like the best for me, but like I think I'm in trouble now, specifically just because like I've been doing the most that I know of. Going to Home Depot and spending like money on a washer is doing stuff. Getting involved in other tribes' business, that's risky. And I took the risk thinking it was going to pay off, and clearly it didn't.
Little did you know is we all have an alliance. Ain't an immunity idol.
No one's gonna see the whole team having an idol. Like, no one's gonna think that we have that.
No.
Because that's just so weird for like a Survivor show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, Lacu was, arguably the best. We were winning everything. Our only tribal council as Lacu Old Lacu was the first one. And, I think that says something about our team, and I think that you should treat them as valuable members.
All right, are you guys ready to get to your next immunity? First things first, I'll take back immunity. Once again, immunity is back up for grabs. For today's challenge, we are playing the classic game of Capture the Flag. A green bandana on each end, surrounded by 3 cones, and there's a center line in the middle. On my go, your job is to get to the other side, get the green bandana, and take it back to your side. Here's how it works. You'll have your own buff sticking out of your pants, so if somebody crosses over to your side, you grab their bandana, and that person, once your bandana is grabbed, you have to go back to the other side. We are playing the first to 4 points wins immunity, but we have a timer of 30 minutes. So it doesn't go that long. Timer of 30 minutes, the team with the most points after 30 minutes wins immunity. All right, Lacu, are you ready? Yeah! Eord, are you ready? Yeah! Driver's ready? Go! You having a good day? Yeah, it's really pretty out.
I thought you were out before you got there. No, attack. No, I already said you come. No, Nick, you gotta go back. Yeah! That's 2 points for Lacu, Moses. You get that. Just cover that side now. Don't chase anymore. All right. Go. So bad. I got the
Moses is inside the cone.
Nick, Hannah, that was wild.
We're at a stand-up right now. Joe just chucked a snowball. Hey!
Wait. What up? Yo, Nick!
Nick, no tackling.
Nick, calm down, bro.
Nick, no tackling. So you're good. Survivor's ready.
She's safe. Yeah, don't hold the buff though.
What's happening? They're in a standoff.
Oh, we are?
Alright.
Here. Watch over here.
You were. It's okay. Oh, get Raz and Brandon. Fuck. God. Yeah. Get Hannah! Get Hannah!
do it if you want. No, then it
Still time? Bram sprinting over.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, Lacu, come get immunity. Save for the next time. Eord, wish I could give you guys better news. Tribal council would meet, or tribal council would Jacob, or someone would be the sixth person who would vote on this game. Talk about what to do. Eord, accept. We have
I'm very, very happy with my team. I think new Lacu is good, and I think that I'm in a good position in terms of like the dynamics of new Lacu. I have 3 old team members, and I have my friend Sarah. I'm fine. I don't trust Hannah Cairo at all. But we were just kind of like, I wasn't telling her anything major, I think. But we kind of just all decided in like that we would vote off Moses if we ever lost.
We were talking about like who we think might be sent home.
I think it'll be Joe. Johnson. They casting 2 people with like or 2 different names that like occurred twice was not.
2 Joes and 2 Hannahs.
That wasn't smart.
Tony, I definitely felt stronger having him on my team, and now that he's gone, I definitely feel like I've lost like a good ally that I was just beginning to consider an ally. So our new tribe consists of me, Hannah, Moses, Sarah Fristo from Eord, and then Bram, Nick, and Molly from Lacu. We got really lucky. There's 3 former Metes on Lacu now, and that's just enough to kind of like help us square off against the other like 3 Lacus that just are from the old Lacu tribe. And then there's kind of Sarah in the middle.
I was the only one from the original Eord on the new Lacu, and I'm just like, ah! It was kind of a blessing in disguise that we changed teams, because like I loved Eord, but I was starting to feel like I was the weakest. And not that I was necessarily, but I was starting to feel like maybe they thought I was.
I looked, because like when we originally got the clue, we looked all over. Me, Stefan, and Brandon looked all over the library and we couldn't find it. And then I got the other clue. I looked all over everywhere and I couldn't find it. So something has got to happen.
That's what I'm thinking.
I looked where it had to have been.
Where?
In the study rooms in locker. I looked all through the study rooms in locker because that made sense with like the 2 clues that I had got. And I looked all through the library also and not there. So
I was thinking editing suite, but I couldn't get it.
There was a really comfortable group. John, Hannah, and I were especially close, and we've always just kind of had a thing going. We did have Shelley with us, but when we were, you know, John, Hannah, and I on that group, we were very tight. We were a core part of that. And so even when the group started to break down, I still have John and Hannah on my team. And I still know that they're still with me, even if the overarching things around us are starting to break down.
So, yeah.
Do you want a Band-Aid, or do you just want to do it, or do you just want a sponge? Do you want a cotton ball?
Cotton ball would be great. Yeah.
It's how everyone got rough, everyone got physical. It was just mentally and physically draining. So I mean, it's kind of like the food eating challenge. We don't really know how to vote someone out off of that because, oh spoilers, we lost, by the way. So Typical. Well, crap, here we go again. I could see myself working with, like, of course, Hannah, Brandon, and Joe, because it seems like us four have good chemistry. So, I mean, I could just totally see us working together coming up in the future. And, yeah, I feel like they would be, like, 1 to 2 people to, like, cross. And I feel like Joe and Brandon are, like, a combo package, I guess you could say. Like, if one says they want to do this, the other one's going to do it. So yeah, and also Hannah has really good chemistry with them, so that's a way for me to get to know them even more too. But I feel a little bit skeptical.
Yeah, there's 4 Eord and 2 Lacu, right? Yeah, that's the thing. It very much feels like us and them, not like we're butting heads, but more like the 4 Eord members talk, and then we kind of like dispel whatever information to the other people, like whatever we want.
Actually, 805 and 807.
Okay.
Because the thing is, you're so right. It's very obvious it's going to be one of the white team.
Yeah. And like their only course of action right now is either getting idols or figuring out a way to break up old Eord.
I don't think they could.
I think there's less worried, and say we keep winning challenges, hopefully we do, so that none of them will have to be voted off, meaning that we're gonna work hard to become more of a team now.
Great idea.
Alright, let's hear it.
That let's say we lost 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And we have to send someone home each time. Joe Johnson, Hannah Mittenmeyer, me. Like that order.
You're gonna sacrifice yourself? Why you?
Because if we have to send a third person home, I don't want it to be one of you, and it shouldn't be Brandon. Brandon is the most serious of our whole
Brandon's the one who cares
team.
the most about our team. But then this is what we have to
That's why
decide.
Tony wanted him home so badly.
But see, this is the thing. Joe and Hannah are going to try to convince us to turn on Brandon.
That's true.
When it first came time to talk about who we would send home this week after we lost the most recent challenge, the original members of Eord remaining on the team met, and the initial thought was, naturally, not in a mean way, but just in a safe move way, to send home one of the 2 freshmen, and we came to the conclusion that Joe would be the smarter choice to send home this week.
Say we get to merge, and it's all 4 of us. The only way we would like get the message out that like, oh, like we're, we're not just a little group anymore is like, and again, I don't want this to happen. This is so ballpark, but like if we vote one of our own off, because then we prove to people that we're like, and like, but like it has to be at a point where like it's not like, oh, obviously we need to vote Joe Scar off. It has to be something like, oh, we voted him off. Like, it didn't even matter to us. Like, it wasn't like the obvious choice, but like we did it. That's the only way people are gonna be like, oh damn, like they're.
So you're saying like manipulate them by actually manipulating them?
Yeah.
I'm into it.
But again, that's like.
So kind of go with my plan then.
Yeah, but I don't want you to sacrifice yourself.
I mean,
even though
what if
someone has to
Brandon
get off,
comes-
like no.
What
Only
if
if that's what you truly want,
Yeah.
but then again, like I still want you to be in this game.
It is really fun being in the game.
Yeah, I don't want you to just like quit. I want you to keep going.
Because isn't it more isn't it more righteous to want to play the game than just to win the trophy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sorry
But-
to just turn philosophy.
No, like I agree with that. Well,
We'd come up with a plan together. It was suggested, and I was willing to go along with the idea that I would talk to my teammates as a whole, including the 2 new additions to the team, and say that I was ready to go home, and I would sacrifice myself and forfeit, and that would save them having to pick someone to send home this week. The plan was to use that to prevent the use of an immunity idol so that the rest of us could vote Joe out and send him home.
So the plan was, say that Joe S is gonna go home. So then Hannah and Joe J think that they'll vote for him, but the rest of us will vote for Joe J. That was the plan. And we actually met today. So Joe put the plan in action, called everyone together for a meeting, and he said, I'm leaving competition. We all had to pretend like, oh my God. And, you know, Joe Johnson and Hannah were like, what?
He's very much at peace with it, and I know that he was genuine about it. At least it's just because he's a really genuine person, so I don't have any concerns. Like, is he trying to pull something? Does he have an idol? Like, that's not even an afterthought at all. Like, I think he just genuinely had a fun time, and now, like, yeah, gotta focus on some other things.
And Joe Scar was he was talking about wanting to leave the game on his own accords, like earlier on. And then right after we had, like, he, Brandon, Raz, and I had met, like right after he texted us, he's like, actually, because we made up this whole plan where we're gonna, like, tell Joe Johnson, hey, we're voting off Joe Scar because he wants to leave. But, like, right after we met about that, he's like, he texted us, he's like, hey, I actually want to, like, do it for real, I think. Like, I actually want to leave. And then we got really suspicious about that because, like, why didn't he tell us a minute ago in person?
Joe's lying to us. And Joe Scar wants... We think Joe Scar wants us to all vote him out so he knows that he should use his immunity idol so his one vote will count.
Yeah.
To break up Eord.
It's someone on Eord.
Because he knows...
Or old Eord. Because there'd be no benefit.
Yeah, old Eord, this Eord. Just because he knows we would get his side for if it was the other two. But he knows that none of us would betray the other right now. Yeah. And he's been someone who literally has been saying we should break Eord to look good to other alliances. And he's someone who we already know has other alliances.
Yeah. Okay, even if this is all like bullshit and we're overthinking it, I think it's a good idea to vote Joe off other Joe.
Right.
Because we already planned on it.
I agree.
And
we would have him dirty.
Yeah, and like even if we vote other Joe off and we find out Joe Scar is innocent and like doesn't have an idol or anything, then it's fine. The next time we lose, we can vote him off.
Exactly.
I decided to reach out to them after our meeting and tell them that they could vote me out, and I would like them to vote me out this week to save them any trouble and to keep the team stable. There's definitely a huge toll that is so much fun when it starts, and then depending on the person, for me, it started to get to me just a little bit, where I'm still very glad I had my time in the game, but I got to the point where I couldn't keep turning on people that I have friendships or alliances or both with. Even though I regrettably did vote Tony out, and in some ways wish I'd thought of this before following through on such a thing, I do think that helped my teammates be safer, as opposed to this week where I think they will be able to be safe having Joe and Hannah there compared to if Tony was still in the game.
Joe wouldn't be planning something else with the others, right?
Joe Scar.
Yeah.
What do you mean? With them two?
But that's what I'm saying.
I don't
Like,
think so.
He's really good at creating the narrative. Think about all the narratives he's done.
Wait, yeah, he could be.
This is us just speculating at this point.
Yeah. But then again, what would he have to gain from that?
He wants to win. It's now in my brain, like Tony told me, and I was like, like I don't really believe you.
That he wants to win.
But now I really think he wants to win, and it was his game the whole time to be like, I don't care about winning.
I definitely do not feel comfortable right now because I'm like, well, this is not good because simply I am in an area where I am once again the weakling, or I definitely feel like I'm the weakling. I just feel like I'm going to go this tribal. I definitely feel like I'm going to go.
Alright, Eord, welcome back to Tribal Council.
Thank you. We love it here.
Joe, first question goes to you tonight. So at the last Tribal Council, it was clear that there was a 4-person majority, being Raz, Brandon, Stefan, and Joe Scar.
Mm-hmm.
Does that stand true tonight? Is it still 4 against the 2 Lacu?
I mean, I don't think so because Joe recently said that he was wanting to be voted out at tonight's tribal because he doesn't want to play the game anymore.
So Joe, other Joe, is saying you're just throwing in the towel. Is that true? is it just a consensus among the tribe that you're basically giving up?
Oh, ouch. Okay, that's how they get it.
That's what it is.
I guess that is a way of phrasing it. I'm happy with my time here and so glad I had this chance. But I do think this is as good a time as any for me personally to go.
Just really hit me.
Why do you say that?
I don't know, recent eliminations or tribals. The most recent one in particular made me realize that as much as I'm enjoying this, I'm happy with this round. I think this is exactly where I want it to end.
The most recent elimination being Tony. What about that?
Oh boy. Tony was a good friend of mine, and going into the game, there were plans that especially come merge, we could be helping each other out, and then throwing that all out the window the second we were on the same team and wouldn't have to wait till merge. I had to think about that a lot.
Hannah, potentially fantastic news for you. At the last tribal council, the Eords were saying, hey, we're all sticking together. Do you buy this?
I do. I think that Joe's genuine about it. I feel like I also, just to sort of bring up what you had asked earlier about the 4 Eord versus the 2 Lacu, I feel like as soon as we were all put together into one tribe, and even if there were previous alliances, I feel like we all came together very well. And I appreciate who's on this tribe with me. And so I feel like I can trust everyone here.
So Raz, on the other side of that, while it could potentially be saving someone else, this is someone that you've spent the past month in the game with. This could potentially hurt you moving forward as a number leading this game.
I think Joe's very aware of the fact that Eord was something that was so strong and really believed in each other. But it's also because of that reason that we have to be understanding of his choices. It does, I guess, hurt our chances potentially.
Brandon, is it that simple now that there's no more old Eord, old Lacu? You guys have just completely created a new tribe with no old tribal lines in existence.
I mean, I'm a person who likes to take things quite for what they are, right? And so I do believe that we have all connected, right? Am I wrong? And so we all like each other. It's all great, la-di-da. But I feel like this is a game where it's hard to know what someone else is going to do 100% of the time. It's hard to be very sure. I don't blame anyone for having that doubt because we all have it. It's a part of the game.
So Stefan, this is a numbers game in general. Moving forward, you need to have people to work with. Joe leaving potentially can hurt your game. So why go through with his idea of just letting him go? Why not take out someone else who may be a threat down the line?
I thought about that, but if he wants to leave, I'm not gonna force him to play the game. That's if he clearly isn't having the best time. But you're having a good time.
I'm having a really good.
You're ready.
Yeah.
You want to.
I have to go home
leave
at
the
some
top.
point. Yeah. It's either first place or you go home, and I feel like my strategy from pretty much the beginning has been that I was going to stick around long enough to help my teammates and allies and friends in the game get as far as they could using my skills, my help.
Has it crossed your mind at all that there could be a negative connotation to the rest of your tribe members with you just stepping down and taking...
Yeah, it definitely has a lot, and I did talk to them about it a lot. And I kept making sure that people were leveling with people one-on-one to make sure they were okay with it, and that.
I mean, you can make it easy, but then you also still have 2 Lacu that are still sitting.
Yes.
On your tribe. Why now, as opposed to just waiting a little bit more and potentially helping your other Eord members? Brandon, agreeing with what I'm asking.
It's just an interesting question. Just why now?
I'll say that now is the time because I know that merge is approaching. And so, at which point, it's really up to them to create their own numbers and not rely on the people they were paired with when the game started.
Raz, before Joe has mentioned that he wants to leave the game, was there any talk of even trying to vote him out? So then do you consider it, in a way, selfish what he just said, where he's saying, you have to go make new alliances now, forget about my number, go make your own?
Sort of. Just because honestly I haven't thought about it. And right now I'm thinking and I was like, I know no one on the other tribe. And now I'm like just reevaluating my own game. And now I didn't even realize how much that affected it, honestly. But yeah, no, I think it just means that I gotta step up.
All right, it's time to vote. Brandon, you're up. Yeah.
Well,
I know last time I wrote a bunch of stuff, but something feels slightly suspicious right now. Something could be in the works. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Weirdest tribal yet, not gonna lie. But let's see.
So I'm voting out Joe Scar. That's what he had asked, and I'm respecting that.
If anybody has a hidden immunity item you'd like to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Fucking Joe.
Alright, once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the vote. I'll read the votes. I almost choked, guys. First vote, Joe Scar. Joseph Johnson. Joe Scar. It's 2 votes Joe Scar, 1 vote Joe Johnson. Joe Scar. Joseph Johnson. 3 votes Joe Scar, 2 votes Joe Johnson, 1 vote left. We're tied. 3 votes Joseph Johnson, 3 votes Joe Scar. Here's how the tie is going to work. Joseph Johnson, Joe Scar, you will not vote. Everybody else will vote. You can only vote for Joe Scar or Joseph Johnson. Stefan, we'll start with you. If you can grab the urn, head on back.
Jesus Christ. Okay, it's going according to plan, kind of.
My vote still goes to Joe Scar. Would ideally not want Joe Johnson to go home. This is a little stressful.
I'll read the votes. First vote, Joe Scar. Joe Scar, 2 votes Joe Scar, 2 votes left. 6th person voted out of Survivor Boston. Joe Scar. Bob. Joe, the tribe has spoken. You can head out.
That's actually so sad. Hi, Joe.
So while this tribal council seems like you guys were all on the same page about voting off one person, clearly that wasn't the case, as half of you decided to break from that. Grab your stuff, head on out, good night.
Hey guys, you thought you saw the last of me, but I got you good. So I'm back here right before last words, mainly to tell you that myself and Sarah Duvall, you remember her from season 1, are in the middle of doing our senior thesis film project. And in order to help our project come to life, we have set up a small Kickstarter. The link is in the description. We'd really appreciate it if you could just, check it out, donate any small amount, or even share the page. We would really appreciate any amount of your time towards this project. It's something that Sarah and I have put a lot of effort into. We'll just really appreciate it. Thank you all. Thanks for watching this episode. And here's Joe Scar with his last words.
Thanks to the producers, the hosts, everyone on this season, and especially my teammates, all of my teammates. It was great playing with or against all of you. It's been a really, really great time. I had a lot more fun and honestly went a lot further than I thought I would. I wouldn't have it any other way than it went, except for I have no idea what the hell happened during Tribal. That was a nail-biting little bit of a twist there.